And Sandhya Ravishankar joins us now from Chennai. Sandhya, thank you so much for taking time to come on the program. Tell us more about the intimidation that you've encountered because of your reporting.
Well, I think Sonia captured it beautifully. The fact that there has been a lot of online harassment. There have been phone calls which have, threatened physical harm, sexual harm. A lot of this stuff has happened in the past few months, ever since, in fact, it's been happening over the last few years, since 2014 when I first wrote about this story. And of course, despite police complaints and despite a lot of, bringing the issue to the authorities' notice, not much action actually has been taken to stop this kind of harassment.
Well, what about moving forward? I mean, there's been inaction and denial, it seems, on the part of the authorities. Do you think that anything is going to be done about illegal sand mining in India?
Well, I certainly hope so, because there is a public interest litigation that is going on in the Madras High Court. And I think the centre and the state government have pretty much decided that they will wait. They will basically throw the ball in the court's court, in a sense, and they are going to await what the court says and simply implement the order. Because remember, this sector is a sector that's very, very lucrative. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of political connection involved, simply because beach sand mining requires permissions and licenses from a lot of different government departments, and unless you're politically connected in India, you're not going to be able to make it this big. So there is a lot of political nexus, there is a lot of money involved, and this is basically what it means this is basically why neither the state government nor the centre is taking any sort of action.
Okay, now illegal sand mining is really just one example of a case where companies and politics come together and try to avoid the detection of journalists, if you will. But now India is way down the Press Freedom Index. It's down at 136 out of 180 countries. Are you surprised at how low India is in that Press Freedom Index?
Well, not at all. I'm not surprised at all. In fact, it should probably be lower, because I think we've had I think we have our politicians largely to blame for this, because over the past 2 decades there has been a rise in identity politics, and whichever party is in power, whether it is the Congress party or the BJP, which is in power right now, whichever party is in power has sort of capitalized on identity politics, dividing the country into major, along religious lines, into majority Hindu or minority Muslims, Christians, or along the lines of caste when it comes to state governments. And we've had a culture of sort of authoritarian, unapproachable, inaccessible leaders. And this has sort of led to the journalists being made irrelevant, in a sense.
Now, this kind of divisive politics you're talking about, that seems symptomatic. Reporters Without Borders, that's one of the organizations that produces one of these Press Freedom Indexes, one of the main ones. They blamed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's politics for India's deteriorating ranking in the Press Freedom Index. How much truth is there behind that, in your opinion?
Well, Narendra Modi is probably a sort of a symbol of the kind of politics that has been in place for a long time. If you look at the previous Prime Minister, who was Manmohan Singh, everyone knew in India that he was not really the Prime Minister. It was Sonia Gandhi, who was the president of the Congress party, who was the Prime Minister, but she was not even part of the government. And she was still calling the shots. And no journalist could go and approach her or question her or, you have any sort of access to her, and no journalist really questioned it. And now Narendra Modi has sort of taken it one step ahead in terms of making the journalist completely disempowered, cutting the journalist out of the system, in fact, and reaching out directly to the people through his radio programs called Man Ki Baat, or through Twitter or through Facebook. So Narendra Modi and his Council of Ministers are systematically disempowering the journalists, making them irrelevant, and in fact even encouraging the use of words like prostitutes. His defense minister himself had used this word, he sort of coined this word and used it, and in a very derogatory fashion called journalists prostitutes, and this is a kind of an atmosphere that the Narendra Modi government is and has been creating. But I see this only as a culmination of things that have happened even since the last government itself. So the journalist is currently not of any use except to stand there and read out regurgitated press releases, if you may, and sort of not respected in a sense in India. And this has come down largely from the cult authoritarian leadership that not just the country but also the state leadership has put in place over the years.
Sandhya, thank you so much. We really appreciate you talking to us today on DW News.
My
Sandhya
pleasure.
Ravishankar there in Chennai, India. Thank you.